Welcome back to another video and a new series here on P2P Empire, where I'll be visiting several P2P lending platforms to make sure they are legit. Today I'm in the city center of Prague and I'm about to visit Bondster, which is a Czech P2P lending platform where you can earn up to 14% interest by investing in loans. I'll be visiting the offices, meet up with the team and talk to the CEO, but I will be also spending a lot of time with the risk manager to make sure that Bondster is keeping your investments safe. So Bondster is located close to the metro station Palmovka, which is just a bit outside of the city center. So let's hop on the metro and I hope they have a good coffee because it's early in the morning and I haven't had one yet. So I just got to the building of Bondster, which is right here at the address which you can see on the website. Just a quick disclaimer here, this is not a sponsored video. All the costs are covered by P2P Empire. The goal of this meeting is to show you a bit of what's happening in the background to be able to better evaluate the platform risk when investing in loans. All right, so we are a bit ahead of the schedule, but let's give Markéta, the affiliate manager, a call and she will pick us up.
Před barákem seš, okay,
jo.
Takže prošel jsi okolo Alberta, seš u správního vchodu.
Přesně tak.
Good, tak já jdu dolů, jo? Tak chvíličku.
Ahoj. Čau.
Markéta,
ahoj. Bondster greeted me with a cup of coffee and I met with the CEO Pavel Klema, which you might already know from my previous interview with him. Pavel introduced me to his team and we talked a bit about the currently available lenders on the platform, as well as about Bondster's decision to not onboard lenders from Ukraine as their application didn't pass the platform's due diligence. We also talked about some of the black swan events in various countries, such as the global pandemic, hurricane in the Philippines and domestic challenges in Kazakhstan. The first one-on-one meeting I had was with Bondster's IT manager Adam Fiedler, who is something like a CTO at Bondster. Like many other platforms, Bondster is also outsourcing its IT development to an external company. Adam informed me that they have daily meetings to discuss the current stage and track the progress of the platform's development. Adam is closely collaborating with the CEO and supports the rest of the team when it comes to technical questions. He also shared with me how lenders list their loans on the platform. Basically, every lending company can log into Bondster's application and upload loans that they wish to finance. Bondster is doing checks to ensure that all the data sets are correct and that the lender is asking to fund loans within the agreed exposure limit. This application is also used to initiate buyback guarantees and loan repayments for investors. What's also worth mentioning is that the AML procedure and identity verification are done in-house. Bondster is not sending any personal information to third parties, nor does it use third-party identity verification providers. When I asked why Bondster doesn't have a two-factor authentication, Adam replied that it's already in the pipeline. He also pointed out that even without the 2FA, investors can only withdraw funds to a verified bank account in the investor's name, which is a security mechanism used by all P2P lending platforms. I also pointed out some of the bugs that I found on the platform, which may negatively affect your experience when investing on Bondster. Adam admitted that there are more bugs than he would wish for. Bondster is aware of them and is working on a long-term plan to improve the platform from a technical standpoint. After our talk, he showed me his office space, which is located just above Bondster's main office on the premises of s.r.o, which is Bondster's strategic partner and also the main funding source of the platform's operations. It's also worth noting that Bondster is owned by the same owner as s.r.o, which is a regulated Czech lending company. That's something I also talked about with the CEO. He mentioned that s.r.o is funding roughly 12 to 13% of its loan book with Bondster. In total, 50% of the entire loan portfolio is self-funded. Pavel also highlighted that there is no conflict of interest between those two companies and that he is happy to resolve any questions in this matter. During our discussion, we also talked about the crypto-backed loans, which are being offered with limited availability for a 10% interest rate. Pavel mentioned that those assets are some of the safest on the platform. What I also learned is that if the crypto loan is liquidated before the end of the loan term, investors still get the full annual interest amount, which can significantly increase your internal return rate. We also talked about his career path and how he took the role to lead the Czech P2P lending marketplace. Pavel was previously in charge of leading Profi Credit. He also also brings experience from Airbank, so it's clearly someone who has knowledge from the lending business. The CEO also showed me the KPIs that he is monitoring, the development of the funding volumes over the past 2 years, and the performance of the lender's loan book. He walked me through very in-depth statistics that are currently not publicly available. So of course, I lobbied for investors to get access to more data, so hopefully you will soon be able to get live statistics, including info about suspended lenders. When talking about suspended lenders, we mean Net Gotovka, Mikrokasa, Speedcash and OmniGrant. We also expanded more on the debt recovery and court proceedings in Poland, where the justice system decided that the loan book is the equity of the lender instead of liability towards investors. This is a problem as the companies have declared bankruptcy, which means that the value of the loan book is part of the insolvency proceedings. That's crazy, as now the creditors of Speedcash should be repaid from the liquidation of the lender's equity, of which investors' loans are part of. Bondster has also filed a lawsuit against the owner of Speedcash to increase awareness of this problem. Unfortunately, the courts in Poland take a long time to rule, so investors will have to be patient. The CEO shared with me that the situation with Mikrokasa and Speedcash are the most problematic ones, and that the remaining suspended lenders are more open to finding a solution and repaying the debt. We also talked about the lending business in the Czech Republic and other countries, the regulation and the impact of the war in Ukraine on Bondster's partners. Overall, I had a good impression of our talk. Pavel was extremely open and honest about any points that I brought up. The next day I met up with Bondster's risk manager and he walked me through the entire due diligence process every lender has to go through before it is listed on the platform. We talked for several hours, so let me quickly run you through the process. Every company that applies to list loans on Bondster is vetted by the risk manager. First, Bondster conducts AML and KYB checks on the people who run the lending business. They check whether they are listed on any sanction lists or are politically exposed people. The most exciting part is certainly Bondster's financial analysis, which includes two main variables: the financial report with the KPIs as well as the loan book performance, which is more relevant for you as you invest into the lender's loan book rather than the company itself. It's worth noting that Bondster does the financial analysis every 3 months. The platform also scores the lender's business processes and business plan. Bondster is also looking at country-specific variables to determine the country risk of a dedicated lending company. Now, Bondster has a pretty good idea about the applicants. Before the platform assigns a risk rating, the risk manager runs the check through stress factors, which can only decrease the final rating. During this process, Bondster checks whether a group guarantee is offered, whether the lender has a hedging policy in place, and what's the business reputation and company's history, and whether the lender is transparent also with the public. After this entire due diligence process, Bondster assigns a score from A+ to C- and determines the maximum allowed exposure on the platform. The work doesn't end here. The platform is also monitoring the lender's minimum balance on Bondster's virtual account, the communication with the company, and evaluates also whether the lender is sharing data through APIs. Any change will have an impact on the rating. It could either increase or decrease. Bondster is not sharing the exact rating criteria with the lenders, as the platform doesn't want the companies to try to trick the system in their favor, which would increase the allowed exposure. Overall, one can tell that Bondster's risk score model is transparent, and it certainly doesn't favor any specific lending companies. Also, the risk manager answered all of my questions without any hesitation whatsoever, which was really refreshing, as the platform typically doesn't share much data on its website or the data is not updated. So in short, Bondster's risk ratings are important indicators and something you should pay attention to when investing on the platform. We also talked a lot about investing in general, and here is a short excerpt that I found might interest you. So I'm here with Vladia, who is the risk manager here at Bondster, and we had a very long discussion about risk management, and there are 3 questions which I think are worth talking about. First one is, how would you recommend investors on Bondster to minimize their risks in P2P loans?
So to minimize the risk, I would diversify across various loan originators and also geographically. Today we have a lot of loan originators from various countries, so I think it's possible more than before. And you should also look at the rating of the loan originators, so you can allocate your capital more to those loan originators with better rating, or you can also choose our conservative strategy, which does the job for you.
What about diversification across loan types? Is this something that is important as well?
Depends on your risk appetite. You can choose higher yield that are payday loans and loans that do not have any collateral, but you can also choose loans with collateral as cars or as crypto and also real estate. But at the moment, we offer loans that are mostly non-collateralized.
One of the questions we at P2P Empower get a lot is how much do you think should investors invest in P2P loans from, let's say, their amount of money that they either save or have dedicated towards investments?
Of course, you cannot just generalize this answer to every investor. It also depends on your risk appetite, your age, if you're young, old, if you plan to invest into your home or you want to buy a car. But for me personally, I invest around 40% of my capital into P2P, and the rest, well, I diversify it horizontally across cryptocurrencies, stocks, and also real estate, because that's where I live. Yeah, I think that's the best option for me.
Which of those asset classes is the most stable one for you personally?
Well, the most stable one is where I live, the flat. But otherwise, well, when I check my stocks, it's every day it fluctuates, and the same applies for crypto, even more actually. So for me, P2P investing is the most stable one.
Now we have already shown you where the office is located, but let us walk you through it. We are here at Bondster office, and with me is Marketa. She's the affiliate manager here, and she's going to show us the offices so you know who is working at Bondster.
So hello everyone, let me walk you in. First, you gotta scan your fingerprint in order to get in. So please follow me. So first, I'm gonna show you where we have the conferences or meetings. So this is our conference room. This is where we welcome our guests. This is where we held team meetings, and if anyone has a call or something like this, he's gonna have it here. So let's walk around. So here is our common space. This is where we usually have breakfasts, or we have discussions. We have a table tennis here. We have also a table football. So when we have time, we have matches here, or we just hang out here and have fun together. So please follow me inside. So this is our main room, and this is where all the magic happens. So you can see Vladimir here. He's our risk analyst. This is Martin over there. He's our back office guy. So if you have any problem with your account or your application, you're gonna talk to him. Here you can see our head of back office. This is Katka. She's currently very busy, probably dealing with some issues with customers or talking to our loan providers. This is where I sit. I sit here just now because we were doing some stuff with Katka. This is where our CEO sits, but Pavel is currently in Amsterdam enjoying, so he's not here. This is where our business manager sits. Ben, he's in charge of new loan originators acquisition. Okay, this is our marketing team. Unfortunately, both of them are currently on home office. So normally Martin, head of marketing, would be sitting here, and here my colleague Petra, and she's in charge of online marketing. We have also external IT team company and some other externists like PR and tax guy, and people who are, helping us to run the platform. And I think that's it. This is the team, this is the place, and we are very happy to have you. So if anyone wants to come, please do.
So before we wrap up this video, let's talk about some of the weaknesses and strengths that you should be considering when investing on Bondster. So there is definitely room for improvement when it comes to the statistics page. The currently available data is static, so it's not live and it might be outdated sometimes. Also, the defaulted or suspended lenders are missing, which would be definitely a good point to add as well. Also, there's a few changes that come with the development, but that's mostly connected to the lack of budget that the platform has. Obviously, they are not backed by a huge corporation, so their budget is limited. Hence, some of the availability of features or the usability of the platform might be limited. All right, now let's talk about some of the strengths. I think one good strength to point out is that they are based in Czech Republic and not in the Baltics, which might be for some investors a benefit since it's not as close to Russia, which is currently a little bit a higher risk due to the geopolitical conflict in Ukraine, right? So from an operational standpoint, that's a benefit. Also, when it comes to the diversification of your investments, Bondster offers a lot of countries in which you can invest and hence lower the country risk. What's definitely standing out on Bondster is the due diligence process, which is very thorough, and their scoring system is very solid. At least that's my opinion after spending 2 days with them. So if you think that Bondster sounds like a good fit for you, you can grab yourself a 2% sign-up bonus by signing up with our link in the description below. The sign-up bonus will be calculated from your investments within the first 30 days. Also, we'll keep you updated about the latest developments on Bondster on our Bondster review on P2P Empire, so be sure to check it out before you invest. All right, if you like this type of content, please hit the like button. Also, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.